Looks like we're live here. My audio working good. Yep, audio is working good. We live. All right, good. Live. Let me get YouTube is live. Let me get on. Is it on the? Let me get this pulled up here on the. How do I pull it up on the app? Just I guess there we go. It says it's a minute from now. All right, y'all. So the live for tonight. We got a few things going on. We are tapped into Facebook tonight, aren't we, Michael? We are. Okay, perfect. So we got Facebook going, we got the app going, and we got YouTube going. So got a couple of announcements, just like we would do in church. These are going to be my church announcements that we're going to do today. This whole live, before we even get started, I probably need to explain this. This whole live would be a little bit different than what I've been doing in the past. I was going to do the live tonight on fall fishing. Just kind of continue that conversation on from I did fall fishing part one on the app this past week. I was going to kind of continue that conversation on, but what I really want to do for part two, fall fishing part two, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was fishing when I should have been. I should have been getting my stuff ready for the live tonight. If I had not have fished this weekend and then last Friday and last Wednesday and last Tuesday and Monday, I probably would have been prepared. We could have talked about fall fishing today, and we will kinda. We'll still talk about fall. But what I really wanted to do is I wanted to have two members from the school on this live and break down their lakes. That's what I wanted to do. Does that make sense? I wanted to bring in two guys from the live. So if you don't listen on Facebook, join the class, and we'll break down your lake, see what would be some good areas, see what would be a good species to target if you have multiple species there on the lake that you fish. That was going to be the idea. So maybe we'll work on that for the next live, but it's a little bit more. I didn't have enough time. I have enough time. I didn't take enough time to do that. So that's what we're going to do. So instead of doing that tonight, I had some really good questions come up in the community section from this past Sunday that I wanted to answer. Really good stuff. And we will still get to talk about fall fishing. We'll still get to talk about boats and some other news that I want to lay on y'all tonight. So stick around. I am going to do three giveaways tonight, three tackle giveaways tonight for the app users only. Facebook guys, if you have, I think Michael will probably put some link at some point in the description box where you can join the school. So we do have the app now. We do have the app version, straight up fishing. I'm gonna give you some game right here. Where my bargain people at? So if you look at the app on the App Store, it's like $28.90. I don't know, $28, $29, something like that. Save you a few dollars. Just sign up for an account on sufschool.com. Then you download that. You just use your account to open up your app. You can log into the app with your credentials from SUF School, and it's a few dollars cheaper. Just to save you that, because I think a lot of people were thinking the app for Straight Up Fishing School was just like Instagram, and you just open it up and then voila, everything's there. There's still the subscription, just like you would join on the website, but you don't have to go through all the clicks. Like everything's there. The app is super. It's super easy to use. There's only 3 tabs on there. It's browse, which is all the workshops, the lives, technique breakdowns, all the video content is on browse, and then it has a community section, which is where you can basically the social media part of it, where you can interact with everybody there, post pictures. Got some other stuff that we just added today. We'll talk about here later. So that's how that works. Okay. So join it. We're gonna do a couple tackle giveaways, a couple little tackle kits. I'm gonna give away tonight for the app users only. You guys on Facebook, feel free to put your questions in there. As they come up. I see a few people tuning in. Tim Dodson's tuning in. Charlie Drotter. Am I saying that right, Charlie? All right, everybody's getting in. Glad to see y'all here tonight, man. throw your questions in the chat as they come along. So, um, church announcements for tonight. SUF Marketplace. So y'all know I did my garage sale this past weekend. Last week we did a garage sale. I got so much stuff, y'all, I need to get rid of so many rods, reels, tackle, just tackle run out of the wazoo. Sometimes I use tackle for the TV show, just for that TV show, and so you might open a bag of plastics or a couple of crankbaits just for that show, and then you don't I never use it again. So all that stuff I need to get rid of it. It's all on the website shopblat.com. I have not only tackle, rods, reels, a lot of electronics. There's trolling motors, etc. It's all there. Grab it, get it while it's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. Hey, and for y'all Rudy Poos, don't be sending me messages talking about will you take $20 for the HDS 12. No, man. Go on with that. Get on, go and get. So that sparked the thought, I'm sure there's people here in the app that have stuff just like me. It's like, man, I got all this tackle that I'm never going to use all this stuff. So today, Michael added the SUF marketplace on the app. So I know Brian Barty is making rods. Brian Barty, feel free. If you're a member of the app, this is your place to trade and talk with other people within the app to be able to sell stuff. So if you've got rods, reels, if you're trying to sell a boat, put it right there in the SUF marketplace. Obviously, listen, don't be scamming people. Scamming people get you kicked out. As soon as I find out somebody's scamming somebody out of here. But post it in the SUF marketplace. Let people know what it is, how much it is, and how they can get contact with you. That's all I want the app to be. I was telling somebody the other day, I think it was Brian Barter. We were talking on the phone for 15 hours. And I said I wanted the app to be almost like those tackle stores used to be at the lake back in the day. You don't see that quite as much. You remember how the tackle stores used to be a place where all the fishermen hang out and you tell stories. They would sell stuff. They talk about their fishing trips. And back then we didn't have cell phones, but I guess if you had one today, you'd be flipping around pictures of your cell phone. That's exactly what the app is supposed to be. It's a place where everybody can come and you can either sell your gear, you can share your experiences, you can teach people, each one of you, that community section. I'm not the only one that has to contribute to the app. Like you guys have stories and you know things about fishing, you can share your experiences there. That's what that community section is all about. So SUF Marketplace, bring your stuff in there, sell it if you need to, okay? Or look for things to buy there. You're looking for rods, you're looking for a couple extra reels, looking for a new kayak. SUF Marketplace is going to be a perfect place for you guys to put that stuff up for sale. It's a good resource for you. Only subs. Yes. Yes. I'm going to cut out this light behind me. I think it looks bad. Yes. It's only for subs. Only for subs for the SUF Marketplace. Okay. What else I got here? I got about 5 or 6 things. So I got some really good things I want to talk about. I'm pretty excited. I hope y'all are excited about it, like I am. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. I think you will be excited about it. I'm pretty. I've been thinking about this a long time. Like, what can I do to help more people in the app? Because I don't know if I'll tell you. Like, dude, thank y'all for being a part of this. I appreciate this. Teaching fishing has been the thing that gives me literally, if I could never fish a tournament again, I could be just happy right here with the people here in the app. Like just talking fishing, going fishing with y'all, just doing this every week. I hope I don't ever have to deal with that. But if I never got to go fish another tournament again, this is literally like the most fun. I enjoy talking with y'all, answering your questions, and interacting all the time. Like I really do mean it. I know that sounds corny. Like, of course you do, but yeah, I really do mean that. Subscriber quizzes. So just to make sure that y'all are paying attention, I put a good bit of time and work into these workshops that we've been doing, just to make sure that you listen. Because I notice a lot of time I'll do a workshop, 3, 4, 5 videos, and then I'll see a question in the community section about exactly what I just spent 2 weeks working on. So I start sending out these quizzes. Also, it's a way, I know people are busy. Like, you don't have time to just sit there on this app and worry about fishing every day. I get that. So it's also a way of just reminding you, hey, this is what we talked about in class while you were out, just like you would get in school. If you want to check it out, this is what we're talking about, and let's test how well you're actually paying attention. I'll send you a quiz. So, Michael, if you can, that link that I sent you about the fall fishing quiz, you guys know I've been talking about. We did this really deep dive in the fall fishing, and I did a quiz that goes with it. I'm gonna put it on the Facebook feed too. So if you want to be a part of, or if you want to take this fall fishing quiz to see how much you really know about fall fishing, this is a really scientific dive into fall fishing. Like, this ain't the normal. This ain't we're the three baits that you could use in the fall. What colors? No, 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 no. Like, scientific stuff that, again, thankful to Brian Barty, that made me. A lot of times we say things in fishing without really knowing it, the understanding the scientific meaning behind it. And so going back and seeing how all these things actually matter was a really fun experiment. And I can't wait to keep doing that with other topics to come out through the year. So we'll put that quiz in the comment section of Facebook. If you're in the school, if you're in the app, you already got an email with that quiz. I think only like 19 people took it. So the rest of y'all, I'm mailing out F's this week. Yeah, so if y'all don't graduate, I'm mailing out F's this week for not taking the quizzes. So because I can see exactly who took it. I haven't figured out a way to look at the questions and see what you missed and what you made, and what you did good on, what you didn't. But I can see how many people took it and who took it. So that's good. Subscriber quizzes. Let me know what you think about those too. Does that help keep you fresh? Help jog your memory of what we talked about and those things. I'm gonna try to put out another one next week as well. Okay, next thing. So I did the giveaways. I did SUF Marketplace. My kids are talking so loud now. They never talk this loud. Y'all hear how loud they are? Like, they are like they're talking so freaking loud. Oh my god, I can't even hear myself think. You can't. Oh, that's good. Good. Uh, yeah, I hear you, Tim. Yeah, I do think Tim says most folks don't get deep enough with fishing strategies. I don't think so either. I think we skim the surface on everything. We just say things because that's what everybody said, and we really don't. We really don't. Uh, we really don't pull the covers back. We just say fish moving to the back of the creeks in the fall. We just say it's cooling down, so it's fall time. We don't really dig into what's going on in the lake scientifically. Like, we really don't pull back the covers. I think that helps you. Even if it don't help you, I like that stuff. So I agree with you, Tim. I think there's things that I say that I thought about. I was like, well, why do they do that, Brian? When you say that, well, why is that? Why are the fish where you're teaching people that they are, where you're saying people there, or you believe where they are? Like, I'd love to know the true meaning behind that. Okay, so let's get into some of the more juicy, more good stuff that I want to tell y'all tonight before we get into these subscriber questions that popped up on the app this week. All right, so which one do I want to do first? Did the subscriber questions? Okay, so I'm going to do 3 subscriber fishing trips. The goal is to do 3 by the end of the year. I got one that I'm scheduling with, that I'm working with someone on now to get done for October. I'd like to do another one in November, and I'd like to do another subscriber trip giveaway in December as well. So, how am I going to pick these people? I'm watching y'all, man. Like, The people that are most active in the community, that's contributing, helping more people, helping people on the community section, just being the most active in the app. Those are the people I'm going to pick, just plain and simple. People that ask more questions. One thing I love, Tim Dodson. I've got like 5 or 6 people that every day as soon as I wake up, I look at the app and I see that they've asked a question. They're posted a fishing trip, posting a picture. It's Ken Pfeiffer, Kevin Skavinsky, Tim Dodson, Tron Foster. I see Mac Toon quite a bit, and there's maybe 2 or 3 others that I may forget. There's 10 or so people that are very active in the community section, and those are the people I want to take fishing. Those are the people that uh, I want to spend time with. Tim, one thing I appreciate about Tim, I think Tim will ask a question. If he's struggling, buddy, he's going to post about it. I ain't catching today, and like I like the realness of that because I think there's more of you that want to ask questions or want to say, "Look, I'm struggling with this," but you don't do it. And I appreciate the fact that Tim does that because that's just real. That's real. And he was posting something earlier this week, or maybe it was today or this weekend. It all runs together for me. He was talking about a fishing trip and how it wasn't that good, and I was like, Tim, that like I do that too. I don't go out every trip. That's the unfortunate part. Like if it's kind of hard to make a video, it's really not that hard. A lot of times our ego gets in the way, but most of the time when I don't catch fish that well, or don't make a video out of it, but I have those trips, man. Especially this time of the year. July, August, September. That is the area where I struggle the most. That's the area that I've got to improve in the most is in the Carolinas anyway. July, August, September. It is hard, bro. Outside of wade fishing, going to ponds, or doing some type of extreme bass fishing, like I struggle in those areas. But I appreciate the fact that he actually asks questions. He puts himself out there to say, "Hey, look, what are you gonna do, Brian? Like, I didn't subscribe to your app. You said fishing was easy. Fix it for me." And so I appreciate that, and I wish more of you would do that. But I'm saying all that to say that the people that are most active in the group, those are the people that are going to be up for the subscriber giveaways. What will that stuff look like? Um, I may come to where you are and fish. Maybe jump in the boat with you. Could be, possibly. For sure, I'll bring you here to South Carolina. We'll go to one of my lakes. Listen, dude, within an hour of my house, I got so many places to fish. Less than an hour, less 30 minutes from my house. There's probably 3 tournament size lakes. There's Hartwell, Russell, Greenwood, Clark's Hill. I got the river right here at my house. I got a couple rivers at my house. I got one river I've never fished before, and it's looking good now because we haven't been getting rain. So it could be any of all those things. Bring you in, probably pack you down with some gear, maybe a few rods, maybe a couple of tackle packs and Z-Man. Hopefully film it, document what's going on, create content for the class. Maybe something that you can tell your kids. Maybe we'll put you on your personal best spotted bass. There's probably people here in the class that have never caught a spotted bass. We can make that happen. It may be we might go saltwater fishing. Saltwater fishing is my favorite thing to do from about now until mid-January. We might do that. So October, November, December. Active members in the app are the ones. What's in the app? Why you think would mean something to you to do a SUF subscriber giveaway? Maybe it don't mean nothing to you, but just give me a reason. Give me a reason. Give me something to think about there. Okay. Love to do a father son couple. Love to take a high school. Um, I'm open. All right. So got that. Let's do a recap. SUF Marketplace just added that. It's live. You can go. You can post something there now. I am doing subscriber quizzes. I think Michael's going to post for you guys on Facebook. If you want to do a subscriber quiz, that is going to be on Facebook. The link is in the comments somewhere in the chat. Let's see. and the subscriber trips. I'm gonna do that. 3 is what I'm looking to do by the end of the year. All right. This one last thing is the most juiciest part that I think like. I think this is gonna be good. I really think it's gonna be good. This has been my one of my dreams all along. I've known I want to do this, and I've done this undercover. I just don't tell anybody about it. I've done this undercover. That sounds bad. I probably shouldn't say it that way, especially the way things are going now. But I have been doing this for a few anglers here in the last, I think the last 4 years. I've always picked out at least one person to do this with. But we're gonna do two. Y'all ready? Don't do nothing. Um, no, don't do it. So I want to sponsor two anglers to fish the Phoenix bass fishing tournaments, Phoenix bass fishing league tournaments. I believe in that particular league of tournaments so much. It's such a good way to build skills. It's such a good way to learn how to catch fish, how to tournament fish. I like that grassroots level of bass fishing. I do it all over again. Like I love it. It's a little hard for me to fish everything nowadays, but I think it's the best schoolmaster to learning how to catch fish is through the BFLs. So I want to sponsor two people next year, and they're going to be right here within the app. Same thing with the same thing like I talked about the subscriber giveaways. I'm just going to be watching to see who's the most active in the app, who's contributing the most, who's asking the most questions, who's sharing the most experiences. Of I got to come up with a cool name for it. I don't know what the name for it. Just team straight up fishing. I don't know. None of that really matters. I just know there's two people that I want to at least give the opportunity to try it, to try the BFLs. And what I'm thinking about, I'm really open to this. What this is going to look like is paid entry fees for one division of BFLs on the boater side. A second angler, I'm going to pay for one person to pay their entry fees for the co-angler side. Probably be able to give you some gear. It could be rods, a little bit of tackle allowance to shopblat.com to get whatever you need. It could be fishing line, just something to help along the way. That's something I wish I would have had. If I just would have had somebody to give me line, it would have took so much pressure off of me in the beginning. Just fishing line. It's like much less entry fees. I never had any line. It would have took so much pressure off of me in the beginning. Just fishing line. It's just like much less entry fees. I had somebody to help me when I was fishing BFLs just to take care of one entry fee or so. Oh, dude, I'm talking about I was a guy rolling quarters. I people don't believe me when I say I used to roll quarters to fish BFLs. Like that's how tight it was. Because sometimes I just didn't get to work. So I want to pay entry fees. Boater, one co-angler. Give you a little bit of gear. All I want out of the job is I want you to share your experience from each tournament, whether that be practice and the event on live. So what I'd like to have in return is after you fish the tournament that Saturday, that following Monday, we get on the live and we talked about what went wrong, what went right, what your experience was like. Did you enjoy yourself? Did it suck? How was the weather? What was weigh-in like? What did it feel like to win? What did it feel like to lose? What did it feel like to catch the big fish? I want y'all are having experiences, and I want you to share that with the people here in the group. So I want to sponsor those guys. Oh, tournament support. The app, the members in the app will be here to help you. So you pick a division. What that look like? You pick a division of BFLs to build a ladder for you to build your tournament experience on. Is all I'm gonna say. Ladder is a whole lot easier to say than scaffolding. So just build a ladder for you financially, help inspire you, and bring in the resources to help you fish a tournament. Does that sound good? Anybody excited about that? Anybody want? Everybody's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to be sponsored angler. Team straight up fishing is what we're going to shoot for 25 season. Let me know. I'd love to hear on Facebook, on the chat. I'm gonna check on the chat now. Let's see. Before I get into those questions, Michael. Let's see. How did I get to that? Let's see. It was on. I missed it. I think I went past it. So there was a couple good questions. Oh, there it is, right there. There was a couple good questions on the. It was a couple good questions on the. I see. I see the. I see the chat now. Can I make this chat bigger? There was a couple good questions on the community section this past weekend that I wanted to address. I see quite a few people talking about the the BFL thing. Yeah, I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited about that. I've always wanted to do that. People, I have buddies that always ask me, like, "Man, who your new sponsors were?" And it's like my mind really hasn't been on getting sponsors for me. It's like I really want to get to a place like where I sponsor anglers. That's literally been my goal, to help other anglers, because being a tournament fisherman myself, I've seen the disconnect between being an angler and sponsoring an angler, and so many companies just don't get it. Also, so many anglers have no clue what a sponsorship relationship is supposed to be like. And like, I just want my opportunity to try to make that what it really, that help me get things that help progress my career forward. And hopefully it's mutual. Hopefully I'm helping them build their brand. And like, I want to do that from both sides. Like, I want to be an angler. I've already experienced that, but I really want to help other people feel what I felt from tournament fishing. That's like my ultimate goal. So that more heads up. Okay. Anyone, uh, the one the one that I wanted to do first before people get tired and start tuning off was the one, I want to say it was Mac Toon was asking about catching bigger fish. I don't know if Mac. I was going to invite Mac to be on the live tonight. I think he said he doesn't have much internet, so he'll see this. By the way, if you guys subscribe to the app, you can watch these lives at any point. You don't have to like you don't have to watch them live. They don't just go away. Michael's got some special stuff where it's hard to read right there, so I'm gonna pull it up on the app, Michael. It'll probably look better on the video. It's just it's hard to read it right there. And then the screenshot I took, of course, is on the. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right, so this question is from Mac Toon. He says, "Big fish question: During monthly tournaments, I don't have an issue getting around 100 inches of five fish, but finding larger fish is an issue. I mainly have been using jigs, drop shot combo. How do you cold fish during a tournament? Just keep doing, just keep doing what is working, or do you have a big fish bait you lean towards? I've tried glides, big swim baits with no luck. I know the local waters have, I think that says 10 plus pound fish. Where the big ones hiding? So, Mac Toon, like that is one of the best questions that you could possibly ask. And listen, this answer is just my opinion. It's my perspective and my lens that I look at this through. So I don't know if I should say fortunately or unfortunately. I've probably done a lot more tournament fishing than I have fun fishing. Or there's very few times where I go fishing and there's not either like it's money on the line or I'm trying to get a piece of content for TV or for the school or for YouTube. So there's always pressure on me to get bites. Like you can look at that as good or bad. I don't know which one it is. There's very few times I get to go fishing and there's no pressure to not get bites. In my opinion, in my opinion, generally speaking, and when I mean generally speaking, let's just say 8 out of 10 times, I like to get more bites because the more bites I get, the better my chances are of getting that bigger bite. You just said it yourself. You tried glides, big worm, the stuff that are supposed to get the big bites. You said, no, look, I'd rather have a 0.5% of a little than no percent or than 100% of nothing. So you can't upgrade if you ain't getting no bites. You got to get bites to upgrade. So for me, and I had to learn this because I used to think like this too. And I learned this fishing. It wasn't until I got to the FLW tour. Listen, when you start paying $5,000 entry fees, boy, the learning curve it cuts in half. I almost wish I would have started risking more money earlier on. I couldn't anyway because I ain't have it. I'm like, you can't hey, you can't gamble with money you ain't got. But I really wish I would have had that much on the line earlier on because I learned really fast when I started fishing the FLW tour. But you need to be getting a lot of bites. So, and there's no place on earth that this works more, in my opinion, than up north. Somebody may disagree with me. If you do, put it in the comments. Let me know your experience. But I would say if I'm fishing, let's say Champlain, and I don't give it 10 bites a day, it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day at Champlain with 10 bites. Because at Champlain, the difference between a 3 1/4, 3 3/4 is 80 places. And listen, you can be side by side from people 16 or 17 catching them 3 1/4s. And you were fishing right beside, and Buddy just figured out how to get more bites, kept playing the lottery. The more scratch off tickets I got, the better chance I got of winning some money. From a tournament perspective, that's the way I feel it is. And it's per lake. When it's up north, you probably better be figuring may disagree with me on that, and I understand. My experience is all I'm sharing is I need to get a lot of bites in order to upgrade. Big fish bite little baits too. Big fish for that. I think it's a mindset mostly. Make sure you hear what I said. I think it's a mindset mostly. Absolutely. Do I think those guys that are really proficient in throwing glides, the bigger swim baits, the line throughs, I do think that is a good deal, but I think that's something you got to commit to. I don't feel like picking up a glide for an hour and a half because you've caught a limit will pay off many times very consistently. But I bet if I figure out where the fish are biting, I understand why they're where they are. I know an area so well that I know where every stump is. I know where all the bait fish. I know how the current's hitting it. I know where the shade spots are. I know where all the drop offs and the rock piles are. If I know an area really good and I probe that really good with my drop shot or my jig or my crankbait or my square bill or my spinner bait, I really believe that my odds go up of catching more fish. And if I catch more fish, I'll catch a bigger fish. That's my belief. Somebody else might tell you different. It's always worked that for me. When I try to make it happen, it's got this weird thing where the harder I try to catch a big fish, the further the big fish get away from me. If I just worry about just understanding the fish, somehow it just seems to it all funnels in if it just gets in line. I said a whole bunch to say that. That's what everything in life. The harder you try to make something happen, the further it runs away from you. When you just do what you're supposed to do and just trust the process, for some reason, success just funnels into it. So it's kind of the same way. I would just keep catching fish. If you're in your tournaments, Mac, if you're catching 7 or 8 fish, I try to figure out how you can catch 20. And then let's see how that works. Let's try that for the next couple tournaments and then circle back. Let me know how that works. And then if that don't work, we'll come up with another plan. All right. I think that's good. Did I answer that good? I did answer that, right? Did I not answer that? I think I answered it okay, at least anyway. Let's see if I got any. Okay. Let's see. What are people saying about it? Yes, baby?
Can can you get this up so hard?
Okay.
Squash it up so
I got to fix a baby doll right quick, okay? Marky, you can tee up that next question. Here you go, sweet.
No, I want it on.
Oh, mommy have to do that, baby. I don't know how to do that. What's this? This one is from Ken Pfeiffer. He says Potomac River Tournament Tuesday. Weather would be cold front, air temps dropping from 90 to 70. With over an inch of rain, 15-mile-per-hour wind, water temps now in the 80s. We're going to start off shallow cranks in the grass, probably then plastic creatures in the thick grass paths. I'll try. Baby, I don't know what to do with that chip. I don't know what to do with this thing. Um, let's see. He's going to start off with plastic creatures in the grass and paths. I'll try top water. If it's not raining, what else can I look for? All right. So for you guys that don't know, Ken fishes the Potomac River. That's where pretty much his home body of water, where I see him fishing at the most. And so this is a sticky situation. He got a lot of different elements. Tidal water, tidal water and storms, clouds, rain is a horrible situation. Now, where I live, it can create a lot of opportunities. In a tidal situation, a storm, wind, clouds, rain, it gets everything out of whack. Let me tell you why. And I need to make sure I answer this question, but I'm just trying to lay out how difficult this what he just laid out is for people that don't fish tidal fisheries. So the thing about tidal fisheries is there's always these little windows of opportunity that are created by the tide moving in and out. So what a lot of times we don't realize is anytime there's tidal that's connected to the ocean, that is a massive body of water. And the problem is when you have a storm come through, a lot of time that disrupts the tide cycle for a couple of reasons. One being the wind. Wind will destroy the tide cycle. So the ocean is huge. If you just get a 5 or 10 mile an hour, nothing. Because those fish will not bite until that tide gets where they want it on that grass. So that makes it extremely, extremely hard. There's a lot of movement, and that goes for the other way. Tide might drop out. And you may say, well, I need rising tide for this area to be good. If the wind's blowing the wrong way, because the ocean has so much surface area for the wind to gather, it can slow or speed up the tide. So the tide may never come back in and it just stays low all day long. Or I've seen this, and I've learned a lot of my tidal fishing techniques from fishing saltwater. That's why I always tell y'all to fish other species. And when fishing's starting to get goofy for y'all, please, please, please go fish for other species. Go fish for crappie, striper, saltwater fishing, catfish, do whatever. There's something to learn about fishing from everything. I learned this from fishing saltwater. The other thing that you have is, let's say the wind is blowing the tide out super fast. It drops out extremely. So what will happen is the tide drops so fast and the current is moving so hard that now it muddies up the creeks because the water's so turbulent. It's moving so fast because of the way the wind's blowing that now the creeks muddy up. Fish don't bite. There's two things that don't go together: muddy water and grass fishing. Muddy water grass fishing, I don't know why, but they don't ever work that good. They shut down. They just sit there. So it's what he's talking about is going to be very, very tough fishing situations. This tournament may have already happened too, because this question was posed quite a few times back. So what he's got to do is think ahead. There's going to be certain areas in the backs of creeks that are going to blow out because of that rain. There's going to be certain areas that are going to muddy up because the tide's going to move so fast that they're going to be muddy. Some of those areas will be on the main lake. Some of those areas will be in the backs of creeks. And I wish I had a better answer. This is where knowing your fishery really, really plays, because that grass will create little eddies and current breaks that will create pockets of clear water. And that's where you're going to have to fish. So to answer your question, Ken, you're going to have to find the clear water. And I think common sense would say, look at the map and which way the tide's moving and figure out where the clear water is going to be. Yes, that can happen to a degree, but with the wind, depending on the wind direction, it will blow that muddy water from one side of the river to the other. So if there's anything I could tell you, Ken, is be careful of those creeks that have a lot of flow since you said you're going to get a lot of rain. Um, it doesn't hurt to make a sachet through there. One thing I do like about tidal fishers is they do clear out fast. Like they'll be muddy and they clear out very very fast because the tide pulls that dirty water out, so it works for you. Um, be careful fishing too far back in any creek because it will blow out. It's got me at the Potomac a couple times. Secondly, you're gonna have to find the clearest water that you can find, most likely. Unfortunately, I don't know where that's at, but I know that's going to be a factor. It's finding the clear water. And then the second thing is, I think, and I don't think you can predict this. Some of you really strong title guys probably can. Is you're going to have to figure out how the tide is going to be affected by the wind and the rain from the storm. Is it going to keep it low extra, or is it going to keep it high for a longer period of time? Hopefully, it keeps it low for a longer period of time. I love a low tide. High tide is a pain. This is what I do. This is just my little trick for tidal fisheries. That I try to keep things simple and as few moving parts as I can. I look for two things when I go to the Potomac, to the James, or when I'm saltwater fishing at the coast. There's two things I look for. I look for a good air on incoming tide. It's the opposite for me. It's always the opposite of what you think it would be. So on high tide or incoming tide, I like to fish near the main lake on incoming. So any kind of docks, piers, grass lines, pads that are main lake oriented are usually going to be better on incoming tide. When the tide's coming in, the reason that is on incoming, all of that bait that was washed out to the sea, to the main lake, to the main river on the outgoing tide is now being pulled back into the creek. And those fish, those are just ambush points for the incoming tide. That's all it is. Any kind of structure that you can find at the mouth of a creek, at the mouth of a pocket, towards the mouth, closer to the main lake on incoming will always be the hot spot. And that goes for saltwater fishing, James, the Potomac. I found this always to be true because I never could fish incoming tide. And when the light bulb went off, I like incoming tide now. So I like to fish towards the main lake on incoming tide, all the way until it's what I refer to it as full. It's just my way of explaining it. So from about 2 hours after the tide turns and coming in, all the way to what I call full is where I like to fish main lake oriented structure, piers, grass lines, anything that I can find on the main lake that would create a current break. Now, outgoing. Outgoing, I always go as far back in a creek as I possibly can go. You're probably asking, why would you do that? I go as far back because on outgoing, all of those pads, all of that spatted dock, there's only going to be a few things in the water. And those fish that live in those creeks, they pull to the last bit of deep water that's left at low tide, and they will sit there in that hole and wait for the tide to go back up. And so you got them trapped. And I don't care if there's 80 boats, 15 boats, or 2 boats. They will go to the last little bit of water that's left, the last lily pad that's left, the last dock that's left in the water. Anything it don't even have to be anything at all. It could just be just the last depression that's left from the low tide. I will break my neck, my boat, my lower unit, and my back sometimes to get as far as I can in the back of the creek to find the last little depression that those fish can hide in. You can find this on Google Earth. You can see the little dark spots. You can find the little potholes. You can see in the pads where the last depression is on low tide. There's going to be fish on that stuff. And so that's when the baits are easy. I'm going to flip. I'm going to throw a drop shot. This works on hard structure. This works on any kind of vegetation. Low tide, go as far back as I can. Trouble for you is where can you go back far as you can, still have clear water, and where can you go on the main lake and still have clear water. So Use that trick, see if that helps you out. But the main thing for you, Ken, is going to be finding the clear water. And you know as well as I do that that moves around depending on what the wind and the tide is doing on at the time. That's why on tidal fisheries, fish will go to the same places at the same times on the same. I don't care if there's an 1,800 boat tournament from since day one to the beginning of the time on a tidal fishery, the fish show up the same places forever and always because the tide hits those points, hit those areas at the same place every day, twice a day. They can't move. They can't go anywhere else. When I go to Lake Hartwell, the fish can be out in 150 foot of water up on the docks. They got nothing to make them go anywhere. But on a place like the Potomac, tidal rivers, they have to go to these certain places all the time because that's where the food's getting washed in. So that's where you go to those places that you know have fish, and you see which one has the cleanest water, and they'll be fish there. You'll just have to wait on the tide to do what it's supposed to do. That was a long answer, but that's the best I got for you, Ken. That was a long answer. I don't know. Ken gonna be confused. He's like, bro, I don't know what. I don't know. He probably tried to write that down, and he's like, oh, shoot, man. Tide. He said it was an algebra equation. Watch the tide all the way to the back of the creek on low, main lake on incoming. That's what I say. Okay, what else we got, Mike? I forgot the other ones. Oh, this is great. So Nathan Sipes. Nathan Nathan posted a picture of his first boat. The reason I put that one up is because there's a couple reasons. I want you guys to show off your rigs more in the community section. Um, there's people there. Don't forget, there's other people. The community section is so important with this app. Don't forget that there's going to be people that are looking to buy a boat and they don't know what to get. And so share your experience. Nathan, if you like this kayak, tell us about it. If you find an add-on that you like or that you don't like, tell us about it. So we don't let us go buy the same dumb thing. This is his first kayak. He says he bought it for less than $1,000 with the paddle and a life jacket. First new boat he's ever owned. So I'm excited to see how his experience is going. I'm kind of in the same boat right now. I'm in the same boat. I just bought a John boat, and I gotta figure out how to mount a trolling motor on it because it doesn't just have a trolling motor mount. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. So if somebody has a John boat in the community section, if you could tell me how you've got yours mounted with some pictures and stuff, I'll post pictures of mine when I get it done. But I'm having a bracket not built for. I ordered a bracket from Tiny Boat Nation that's a mounting bracket for my John boat. I'll post. It should be in Wednesday. Can't wait to fish that one. So I want you guys to share your boats more. Proud of you, Nathan, for getting that finding the rig. Post some videos, post some clips. You guys post some GoPro clips. If you use a GoPro when you're fishing, post your clips in the community section. Let us know what you're fishing, how your experiences are. Oh boy, we're about to have the freak show in the background back there. All right, let's see who else we got here. All right, today I had a tournament. Oh, this is from Barty. He said today I had a tournament on a pond/lake that is overpopulated with fish. It's great for taking kids to catch fish. However, it stinks to catch bigger fish. He posted an article here. It says this article emphasizes the importance of harvesting bass in small waters like ponds to maintain healthy fish populations. So listen, he said a whole bunch there, but I just want to stop right there. Listen, guys, this is a problem. This is not just a problem in ponds. Listen, what I'm about to say, this is going to really stir up a hornet's nest, I'm sure. Our lakes are overrun in the South. Our lakes are flat overrun with fish. I know that's going to upset people. Just because you go out and sometimes you don't catch fish is not a representation of how many fish are in the lake. We don't see 10-pound bass anymore. We don't see a lot of big like the. It's we have a lot of fish in our lakes. A lot of that is because of invasive species like the Alabama bass have really changed the dynamic of our lakes. And even our lakes, when I say lakes, I'm talking about Lake Hartwell. Yes, I'm talking about Gunnersville. Yes, I'm talking about Chickamauga. There needs to be some fish harvested. There needs to be bass that are harvested from a lot of our lakes. And people get so upset the moment that they see a guy harvesting fish. The lakes need that. What you're seeing happening in these ponds, and I've seen it because one of the pond that I fished, if you watch the master class or the what do I call it, the workshop that I've been doing on bank fishing, that pond is absolutely overrun with fish. They're all this size. The ones that I caught in that video were some of the biggest ones I ever caught out of there. I don't. I've never caught one over 3 pounds out of that pond. 3 pounders are huge. They're usually literally the size. They're 10 inches, 13 inches, and thin as a piece of notebook paper. A lot of times, what happens is there's a pond is very easy to get off balance. Number one, you have a limited resource of food via some type of minnows or brim. There's some type of panfish is the food source there. Maybe a few crawdads, possibly. Now, what happens is you get fish in there, nobody takes them out. They spawn, they make more fish. They eat all the little big fish, eat the little fish, where those little fish never really have a chance to replenish. And the bass just keep making more babies and more babies and more babies, and nobody ever takes them out. And the pond gets off balance. And the bass get stunted because there's no food in there for them to eat. The genetic pool gets screwed up because all the fish are just small. Nobody ever harvested. The pond is not taken. It gets out of balance. There's more fish than there is food. Another thing that ruins ponds, we don't talk about this often. South Carolina DNR, one of the guys told me about this, is crappie are the worst fish for a pond. You need to keep like every crappie that you ever catch out of a pond. They spawn very quickly and very early. And a lot of times what happens is the crappie fry spawns, they mature so fast that oftentimes they eat the bass fry. Since the crappie spawn so early in the season, let's say February, they spawn, the crappie fry has enough time to mature that when March and April gets here and you have bass fry, the crappie fry now eat the bass fry. And crappie, I don't think they need a bed to spawn on like what we have been taught they do. I think crappie can literally swim around in the middle of a pond and almost spawn like salmon. I don't think they need it. I think they just squirt their eggs out in the middle of a pond and they get fertilized. And so they're extremely hard to control. I think a spotted bass is pretty close to that. No proof on that, but they're pretty close to that. So harvesting fish is good, people. Up north it's a little different because it's such a slow growing season. But if you're from Virginia South, I guarantee your fish needs harvesting. And that is why we have creel limits, folks. That's why we have creel limits. The DNR has done studies to say this fishery can withstand the amount of anglers that we have surveyed to come here every day can take this many fish out of this pond, out of this lake. So when you see a cooler full of bass at a tournament, I know that hurts your feelings, but it's probably the best thing that could ever happen to that lake. I know that hurts y'all. I know y'all are probably red in the face right now, but you got to understand that fish have to be harvested in order for the fishery to stay healthy. It's a part of life. Some have to die in order for our fisheries to be good. And we're just in this catch and release culture that's semi-toxic to a degree. And we bash people for keeping fish, especially largemouth, especially any bass species. You don't see it as much in saltwater, but especially bass species. I don't know. And then we'll go kill a deer. We'll go let the air out of them suckers. And everybody claps their hands when you post it on social media. Try posting an 8 pounder and lay them up on your counter and fillet them and see what people say. The fish is probably about to die anyway. They only live so long. They only live so long. Very unpopular statement, but the fish only live so long. I promise you, we are not good enough fishermen to deplete a fishery. Y'all ain't fishing that much. You think you are, but it's only because you only fish on the weekends. I was a guide at Lake Hartwell, one of the most outside of Lake Lanier. Lake Hartwell gets the most boats out of any of them that I've seen. Let me tell you, you can go on a Tuesday, you pull up the green pond, you'd be lucky to see 5 boats. At the ramp, you will see almost zero on the lake. On the weekend, you can't go nowhere and not see a fish. So a lot of time our perception of how many people are fishing on our lakes is a little bit skewed because we only fish on the weekends or only when there's a tournament. But and I'm only speaking for the fisheries that I fish here in the south. In the north, it's totally different. It's totally different dynamic. But we can stand to have in our lakes, definitely in our ponds, in our lakes, some fish can stand to be harvested, especially when it comes to Alabama bass. They completely changed our lakes. I don't want to say damaged, but they have made some of our species darn near extinct, and they're a huge threat to all of our lakes. There may be a possibility that one day, like the largemouth bass on the Savannah River chain, I don't think it's out of the possibility that may not be a thing one day. I don't think it's out of the it'd be a very rare occasion to catch a largemouth because of Alabama bass. Spotted bass is the Alabama bass. That invasive. It's not natural to our lakes. It's not a native species. Very aggressive. They spawn really deep, so their fry don't have natural predators. They eat very aggressive eaters. Largemouth do not live deep anymore. They don't live deep anymore. When I was a kid, we used to catch largemouth 30, 40, 50 foot deep. You will not catch a largemouth on a jig and spoon on Lake Hartwell hardly ever anymore. Very rare occasion, all due to Alabama bass. So don't transport bass. Don't try to get spotted bass up north on you. Don't bring them up there. Don't transport them because it is would literally ruin the fishery. Don't be scared to harvest those fish, guys. Seriously, I really do mean that. Michael, we got any more? It's just maybe a couple more, and then we'll be about ready to. Okay. Break the internet. They already gonna try to cancel me. It's my platform, boy. You ain't gonna get to cancel me. You won't get to cancel me. You'll get to not like it, but you won't get to cancel it. Absolutely. Fry them up. It's so taboo. Fry them suckers, man. Especially Alabama bass. Fry them. Like, dude, we are not as good as we think we're gonna clean out a fishery. You will not. Over time, obviously, we're not going to be irresponsible. We're not going to disobey the laws, but you can keep legal limits and legal size fish. So you don't have to get on people's posts when they decide to fillet a 7 pounder. You don't have to get on their posts and stop them because they're within the law. They're within the limits. It would be the same as people for driving certain size trucks or something. You can't drive that truck. You really ought to drive a car because I don't know, you may shine your lights in my eyes. Like, dude, you can't do that. If somebody is obeying the law, leave them alone. Let them catch the fish. They want to eat the fish. Let them eat the fish, man. Leave them alone. They're doing this is so unpopular, but people that are keeping fish are actually helping the fishery more than you are releasing those fish, releasing everything that you catch. They're actually helping the fishery more than you are. And I'm guilty of it too, because I don't want to clean no fish. But in the wintertime, there are a couple times a year, I'll keep, especially spotted bass. I ain't allowed to say what I want to say about them on here. I'll knock him across the head. I'll knock his sides off. 2 knives. Shot. I'll knock him off. All right, what else did we have? Yeah, what else do we have? Oh no, Mac Toon says Alabama bass are coming up here in tidal waters. That's awful. They'll wipe out their smallmouth population. Mac Toon, I'd kill every one of those Alabama bass that you come across because they will abs. If you got smallmouth in those fishes, they're gonna take them out. Um, Tim Dawson says, question: when there's a lot of rain. Oh, this is a great question. This will be the last one of these, and then I'll take a few of these questions that are on the live chat if we got. I see a few. Um, Tim Dawson says, when there's been a ton of rain and the lake is up, how does this condition change where you look for fish? This is a whole. This should be a whole workshop on how to fish with rising water. This is something I don't get a lot of where I live. It wasn't until I started fishing away from home that I would see, the water levels go 2, 3, 4 foot in a day or in a week. We don't get that. Our lakes slowly go down, like it's dry now, and they're just dropping like a foot a month or so. And then they'll slowly rise back up as we get into spring, very slow, like over months, they'll rise. But when I started fishing, like one time I went to Beaver Lake and the lake came up super fast. One time I went to like during the event, like it went from full pool to like 12 foot high in during the tournament. Sam Rayburn a couple years. I think it went. It was it almost 20 foot high or 12. I don't know, something dumb. 15 foot high. It was just asinine. They were about to cancel the tournament. Couldn't get under bridges. I was at the Mississippi River one time. Almost got canceled because of rising water. And so, Tim, this is all about context. I think I replied to this, but I'm glad we had to ask that question here because what you do is always going to be about context. What I mean by that is, what's the species? Are we talking about a river? Are we talking about like is it a reservoir? I think it's all about context, how you would attack those fisheries. So, with that being said, I think where you fish is like a river, or like more Stainwater Falls Lake. I think something like that. Gaston, all in that area. I don't think there's many fish that already live offshore. They're already living shallow. So, with rising water, you're fishing shallow, what you want to start to look for is vertical structure. You don't want to look for places where those fish can move back into something. You want to look for places where fish can only move up and down, not back and forth. It's places where they can move back into the bank, into the bushes. You ain't got a chance. Too much stuff back there. But if I fish a place where they can only go up and down, that would be fixed position docks. That would be bridges. That would be any kind of vertical structure, timber, bluffs, riprap. The fish can only go up and down. They can't go back. That's all you got to do. That's really the only choice you got. So, with that water rising like that, ripraps are going to be a hot spot. Think about it. Rising water means you're going to have extra current. What does a bridge create? It blocks it. So it's going to have eddies. And you have vertical structure where the fish can just go up and down and not back. You can't go further into a riprap. You can only go so far in a riprap. So you're going to look for that hard structure. Dock pilings. The dock stays exactly where it's at. And the fish can go up and down on the dock. They can go back to the catwalk. They'll be out on the front of it. Bluff walls. On a bluff wall are the steepest walls. When I say bluff, a lot of times people think 100 foot deep. Like, no. Just anywhere where it's steep, very steep. A boat length is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 foot of water. Those bluff walls. The fish can only go up and down those walls. That's where you want to fish. Just ride around and find that stuff. Keep throttle down till you find that stuff. All those flat pockets with all those pretty bushes, don't fish that. Vertical stuff. Now, for everybody else, that fish reservoirs like I do, Smith Lake, Lake Hartwell, Russell, our fish stay exactly where they are. They won't move with the water. So uh, if you're fishing hard, water rises 10, 15 foot, they don't care. They stay right where they are. Matter of fact, we had a fall about 5 years ago where the water rose during the winter. It go like October. It rained like all winter long, starting to fall. Lake got really high. Never fished the bank. Only fished offshore because there's too much crap on the bank. We have spotted bass, and so I just chose to target spotted bass all winter long on humps and timberlines. Those fish are not going to the bank because the water rose. It could raise 87 foot. The fish will still be in the same spots. Spotted bass still be in the same spots chasing the bait. They stay in place. They don't go anywhere else. Man, because the food doesn't move with it. And so trying to fish the bank, trying to fish docks, it's just too much crap up there for you to fish. You just stay shallow. You stay deep on humps, timber, any kind of whatever your offshore structure is. If you're on Kentucky or Tennessee River, it'd be ledges, stuff like that. And the fish will stay on them ledges. They will not go up with the water. Guaranteed. They will not go up with the water. I had to learn that the hard way. But it's all about context. If you fish smallmouth fisheries and you fish like, let's say, in the lacs or something like that, I haven't fished Mille Lacs before, but if you fish a smallmouth fishery, I say this because usually smallmouth are going to be offshore fish, generally speaking. Those fish will stay right where they were. They will not move with the water. They will stay. If they were out there on those reefs, those rock reefs, they will be on those rock reefs when the water come up 10 foot. Mississippi River is a great explanation of it. Them smallmouth that live on the Mississippi River on the main lake will stay on the same places they were when the water was 7 foot low or if it was 8 foot high. They ain't moving. They stay on the same stuff, same current breaks. But in river situations, the fish tend to move a little bit more with the water. And the only place that allows us to have our best chance at those fish are going to be those steeper places that I talked about. All right. So let me that's all I'm gonna take on them those questions. Mike, I might have sent you another one or two, right, Mike? I don't know if I did or not. Let's just answer. I wish I could see these a little better. The questions. I'm gonna see if there's any questions here in the chat that I need to attend to. Was there many? So are we saying fish fry? Destiny saying we need to have that fish fry. You see any pertinent questions? I see a lot of comments, not necessarily questions so far. Yeah. That's a great question. I don't have a good answer for you that with that. I have some experiences, but I don't have an answer to that question. Why? Because that's what I always done. But it does seem in all my experiences, like the fish are schooling right now. So my boys now, I've been posting some pictures in the community tab. Matter of fact, I can't wait. I just have so much to do that. Like I should have been fishing this morning, but I wanted to get ready for this. The fish are right now schooling. They're doing exactly everything that I talked about in that fall fishing part one. The fish are doing right now at Hartwell. You go in the evening, the bait comes up the top. It's bait everywhere, and the fish are schooling on bait. We're catching stripers, spotted bass, everything on it, and their feet on tiny little bitty bait like that. And you got to throw this. We're throwing slim swims. Like if I try to throw this out there, you ain't getting no bite on that. I mean, I'd love to just go out there and smash them on that and just be able to make this awesome line through swim bait video. You ain't gonna catch jack squat on that. You got to take a little bitty 2 3/4 inch or 3 inch swim bait and reel it fast as you can and get them to react to it. In the fall time, they just bite that. And the bait, and I actually saw some of them spit up the bait that they were eating yesterday. And dude, some of them were 4 and 5 inch herring, and then a lot of them were threadfin shad. So I have to do more research to figure out the science behind why they're biting the little baits and eating the little shad. My experience does say like, and when I say my experience, not in as let me teach you, just that my on the water experience has been smaller baits in the fall. Wintertime, I'll throw big baits, but for I can't get them to bite big stuff. I'll do video. I may even do a live Wednesday when I go. I'm gonna go Wednesday morning. I may even do a live out there. I can't get them to catch. I can't get them to bite nothing big, and we'll try. We'll try some big baits and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know why I don't have a science explanation for it. Just only just like personal experience there. All right. Um. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, man, ain't no place for that here, bro. Ain't no place for trolls. Yeah, that I mean, like, what's the purpose of having a school if you can't ask any questions? Like, what would be the purpose?
Hello.
You say hello.
I'm Barbie.
There's no. It would make no sense
I'm
to do that. You
Barbie.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Mommy wants you again. Um, yeah, dude. Like, I appreciate you putting yourself like doing like answer putting the questions out there because when one person asks a question, it makes other people feel more comfortable to ask questions. And a lot of times, the things that you're asking, other people have the same question, but they won't ask it. There's like 600 people signed up for probably over there, probably more close to 700 people, and there's like 10 that actually post a lot in the community section. So that tells you how unique that is for you to ask those questions. We appreciate it. Hopefully, more will start doing it. Uh, Boat cover, yeah. I've never had an aftermarket boat cover. Y'all guess that, Charlie Geraldo, 17 and a half. Some, yeah, yeah. Somebody else knows anything about boat covers, uh, post that in the comment section, either Facebook or on the community section. I've never listen. You know how people are about pets. Look, I grew up in Belton, South Carolina. If you had a dog, you used to have a dog in a pen in the backyard, or he was tied up to the tree. I don't think you can tie him up to the tree no more. But listen, that's what I grew up in. I see people do that to boats, and I'm like, oh, can I just come and say you can keep your boat at my house? I hate for boats to set outside. Like I can't stand it. But some circumstances just warrant you just got to keep a boat outside. When I moved out, I had a boat before I had a house. So I used to keep my boat, my bass boat at my parents' house, and I would not buy a house. When I was looking for a house, I would not buy a house unless I had a place to keep a boat. That was a must. Like that's how important it is to me. So with that being said, I've never kept one outside before, ever. I've never kept one outside. Even my John boat, I try to, like I'm gonna build a place for it to be. Y'all just gonna brush teeth on live, huh? Everybody's brushing teeth on live. So yeah, I've never kept one outside. I use my boat cover to tow with, so I don't have any experience with the with boat covers. You can probably buy you one of those metal awnings about as cheap as you can buy a good boat cover. A good boat cover is probably going to be $1,000. A good boat cover, it's going to be $700 to $1,000. You're going to be at least halfway to getting one of those metal awnings. At least halfway. I know things went up recently. They might not be that 895 like they used to be, but you're going to be pretty daggum close to being able to buy an awning and then being able to work on tackle, fix things on your boat while you're there. So that would be my suggestion. I would look for some type of awning versus the boat cover. I think you'd be better off. All right. Let's see. I think that's. I didn't see no more. I don't see any more either. All right. That was good. I think we'll hit it. Fourth. If y'all got anything else, just put it in the comment section or the community section, and I'll tend to it this week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Please don't come over here with this loud iPad, this loud tablet. They come over here with these tablets. Turn the tablet down, bro. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the live this week or today. We'll start working on these trips. We start working on the sponsorship deal for two anglers for this year. Be on the lookout in your emails for the quizzes and stuff we'll be sending out. All right. I may take another stab at a live on Wednesday morning. Let y'all look at live while we work. Probably just gonna be a fishing live, not very interactive. Probably just gonna get on there and just fish. And if I catch fish, we'll talk about it. If I don't, we won't talk about it. It won't be nothing to talk about. All right. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your night.
Bye. And
Bye.
don't forget like, subscribe.
What you know about subscribe, Pumpkin?
And you get to like and subscribe on your video and make sure how you going.